Hi guys, welcome to Black Sheep Tarot and Things. And this pick a card reading is going to be your predictions for 2022. Now, listen, I know we're already like almost 3 weeks into 2022, but for me, the early big part of January is just kind of like holiday hangover. You're just like putting your house back in order, just trying to clean your system of all the crap you ate over the holidays, all the cookies, all the parties. And especially for me, because my birthday is the day after Christmas, and then we have New Year's, and then I have a son whose birthday is the second week of January, and a daughter whose birthday is the first week of January. So everything just gets crazy snowballed in, especially for me. So I've been a little preoccupied with it, and I feel like now towards the end of January, when everything's really put away from the end of last year, especially after a full moon, the full moon in Cancer was last night on January 17th. There is really a fresh start starting now. So now's the real New Year's, okay, according to me. Also, this is kind of a timeless reading. So being a general timeless reading, the odds of you reading this, being one of the people who read it right on January 1st, isn't super great anyways. So let's not be picky about the dates. Let's not sweat the small stuff. If you sweat the small stuff, this might not be the channel for you, because I'm like the master of not sweating the small stuff. Okay? Sometimes I don't even sweat the big stuff, and I probably should. But that's neither here nor there for another day. For now, go ahead and pick a pile that you're called to, either based on like the numerology, the placement, the stone, just kind of whatever your gut is drawing you to. And we will get started. This is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3. All right. So without further ado, let's get into pile 1. And I haven't looked at these yet, so let's see. This is long. I gotta make some more room. Beep, rearrange. I can tell you right away that I'm seeing a lot of stuff with work, or your business, or projects, or things more kind of in the material world for you guys so far. Don't get scared by that. So we're going to go through the tarot first, and then we're going to go into the oracles. Okay. So first of all, you're all pentacles and swords here. And so that's a lot of thinking and a lot of in the material world. And I'm seeing a lot with your work, okay? What I'm seeing here, first of all, is the Page of Pentacles is someone who starts out in a new venture, a new idea, kind of the beginner, the early phase, kind of like the Padawan if you're into Star Wars, or like, what's the opposite of a sensei when you do karate? Like the student, I guess. Okay, the student. Not really a student because you're actively doing things. It's more than a student, but like the intern. Okay, maybe you're the intern. I know that's more workplace than karate, but you know what I'm saying. This is the very beginning phases of an idea, a business, a job, some way to usually make money or to make your physical surroundings better. So I suppose it could be something like building a house, buying a house, something like that as well, if you were preparing for a big purchase. But I'm going to go ahead and say for most of you, it has to do with some type of job and money-making idea or business. And so with this being the beginner and being in reverse, it shows that last year was a big year for you guys getting things set up, getting foundations going, or maybe getting things prepared for the next step if you've already been established, okay? Because you're reverse now. You're beyond this phase. And what's coming up next that I see for you guys is you're going to have some really positive collaborations, okay? The Three of Pentacles is about positive collaborations in business and with money. So 2022, you're going to really kind of either meet some new people or think of ways to collaborate more successfully on your business or your venture, or find some really good, steady, like long-term clients. This isn't just one flash in the pan, one business deal usually. It's usually a more collaborative effort. Although a collaboration between a service provider and a service receiver, if it's like a long-term contract or something like that, could fall into that place. And with the Ace of Pentacles, this new collaboration is going to bring about a whole other source of income or revenue. It's going to be very successful. And it has the promise to be very successful, okay? Ace of Pentacles is the universe coming through, giving you a gift, an idea, something like that. Four Pentacles, which is material, money, and it's coming right through the collaboration. So it will be a result of the collaboration, okay? And you're going to be inclined to take some action with this, okay? You're going to have some new ideas. Swords is intellectual. You're going to have some new ideas. You're going to want to take action on the new ideas once you and this collaboration, maybe it's a new job too. Maybe it's a new job and there's room for advancement or something like that. But this collaboration is going to have the potential to make big money, okay? And almost that comes out of money from nowhere type thing. Like it was more than you expected, or from a place you didn't expect. It's a gift. It's kind of like out of the blue gift. It's not something you're putting in long hours. Don't get me wrong, you've put in long hours over here, but you have a foundation now. And this next step is going to be kind of one of those things that almost feels like a lucky break, okay? And you're going to have a lot of good ideas surrounding this, and you're going to be inclined to take action, and you should. However, there is a warning, okay, with this everything is fine, Ten of Swords. There's going to be a hiccup in the road, okay? Which you're probably not you're not the type to get knocked off by something like that, because you've already gone through the initiation of the Page of Pentacles portion. And to move past that, you've already had a lot of like false starts or disappointments, right? This is such a good collaboration, and it offers so much potential that you run with it. And you should run with it. But what this card is saying is either think it through a little bit, plan a little harder, look at all the obstacles, look at all the potentiality, look at all the things a little harder before you just, because see how the Knight of Swords is just like, whoosh, she just like goes right into it. You should go into it, but sometimes the Knight of Swords can mean you've jumped in a little too fast. And the only time it's too fast for something like this is if you're not prepared all the way. So just make sure you're prepared all the way, because that's going to cushion whatever this obstacle is that makes you feel, ugh. You know, and again, being swords, which is intellect and thought, this is going to be more in your head, okay? Something's going to happen that upsets you and hurts your feelings, but it's going to be more in your mind than actually in real life. You might be really scared that it's not going to work out, or maybe something will happen that doesn't work out the way you thought, but you need to give it time to still continue to work out, because then your oracle cards, on top of this being an overall green light go with this situation, because the collaborative partnership is upright, which means it will be successful. Ace of Pentacles is upright, which means it will be successful. So when you hit this block over here, don't be scared, okay? Maybe just don't rush forward so fast with this Knight of Swords, because you are a knight now. You're not a page. It goes page, knight, queen, king. So you are the knight, and it's saying to be the knight. Just make sure you're prepared. And when this is the Ten of Cards, and what's interesting about this deck is the Ten of Swords, there's two of them in this deck, which is kind of unusual. It's the only deck I've ever had that's like that. There's one that straight up says Ten of Swords, and then there's one that's Ten of Swords, but everything is fine underneath it. And that's the one you guys got. So this means you are going to feel, you're going to be bombarded with kind of intrusive thoughts that are negative about this, and kind of be worried and stressed. Maybe you're taking a big risk kind of doing this, but it's in your, it's mental, it's intellectual. It's probably normal to feel that way. You wouldn't be human if you didn't, but you need to have a little faith, okay? Because it's going to work out. This is reinforced by your oracle cards telling you you're good enough, full moon in Virgo, which maybe that is part of these like self-torturous thoughts you start having. Maybe things are going so well that you feel like you don't deserve it, or you feel you get imposter syndrome and you start feeling like you know, you're not really the person who is capable of doing this, or the person who's going to do a good job, and some people are going to figure you out and it's all going to be taken away or something like that. These thoughts you're having that hurt you over something that's generally a positive situation could be based on you feeling like you're not good enough. And this is telling you you are. You've gotten through the page portion. You've reversed the page. You're on to the next step. You're good enough. Yeah, and that is double reinforced by new moon in Scorpio. You need to work through your fears. So this is where things are going to finally start jumping off for you. But you might have a tendency to self-sabotage a little bit by overthinking it and letting your doubts and your fears and your kind of self-esteem get to you. And you need to be really, really conscious of that, because there's so many people who have a comfort zone that is not actually what they want out of their life. But you get so addicted to your comfort zone and you feel so safe in your comfort zone, no matter how shitty your comfort zone is, because number one, that's just been your reality. And to have your reality shaken is a little scary. You know, when you've been telling yourself this story about yourself for so long, and then it gets shaken and that's not the reality anymore, it kind of freaks you out because you look around the whole, what else did I think is real isn't real, you know? So, but I'm going to ask you to think to yourself, what is reality anyways? But people also get stuck in their safety zone because as bad as it is, you've survived it so far. You kind of know how to do it. Like, if you go somewhere else and the trials and tribulations come up in that area, maybe you won't survive those trials and tribulations. You know you can survive the ones you're at now, even if they're constant and you hate them. The idea of going somewhere new is alluring and it's what you want. But then when you're this close to walking through the door, it's like, well, wait a minute. What about if stuff gets bad over there? Maybe I can't handle it. I know I can handle this bad stuff. So you retreat. And that's what I see this big, big message for you guys being. You are going to be, you've worked on building a foundation for yourself. You're going to be given collaborations. You're going to be given opportunity. You are going to take action, but then you are going to have this subconscious urge with all these negative thoughts in your head to self-sabotage. And what you need to do, why you probably were drawn to this pile, this reading, is you need to be very, very aware of old patterns, old thought patterns, old habits, things that could self-sabotage and destruct what you're starting to work for, because I think you're on the precipice of going to a level that you haven't been at before. And you need to remember you're good enough, and you need to work through your fears. You can't ignore them, because if you don't face them, the subconscious kind of always wins because it's so tricky. It'll always kind of trick you. So you have to stay aware. You can't tune it out. You can't block it out. You can't crutch a vice if, you know, maybe you drink alcohol or something like that to kind of make it so you don't have to deal with it. Don't have to think about it. You need to stay present. You need to examine thoughts you're having, choices you're making, and you need to have the confidence to move forward with these new opportunities and collaborations that are going to be showing up for you. And yeah, if you do that, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good year for you, Pile 1, especially in regards to your business or your money, whatever aspect that is in the very like here and now material world. It's looking good for you. I would guess a lot of you are either venturing out on your own or starting a business or something like that. But it could be just, you know, growth at a new job or the other things I mentioned. So hope that resonated. Leave me a comment if it did, or if you have any questions. And thanks for checking me out, Pile 1. All right, Pile 2. Here we go. What do we have for you? This is such a pretty stone, isn't it? This is kind of the stone that helps increase psychic types of visions and tendencies. And so I wonder if that'll be a theme for you in your reading. Let's see. And one. I'm going to spread these out a little bit and put your oracle cards underneath. Hold on. Need to be a little more mindful about what shows up on the camera. Okay. So, pile 2. What I see for you, not necessarily stuff with psychic type things like I thought perhaps your stone was indicative of, but definitely things where you need to follow your heart and follow your gut, which you could argue is maybe the same thing. Because with the Hanged Man in reverse here, with the Hangman in reverse, you have been in an energy for a while where either you felt stuck or without feeling stuck kind of got stuck in the same repetitive life, habit, routines, just where you're not living a very, the aspect of your life this reading's pertaining to is you are not living a very conscious existence, kind of. You're a little bit on autopilot in certain ways. And what I see is this pertaining negatively to your immediate kind of social circle, okay? Either you've been hanging out with some people who you realize maybe aren't so great, or people who kind of bring you down, or people kind of who stunt your growth, or you have a lack of people you can feel close to and have fun with. But either way, you're kind of looking for, new ways to interact with people and have fun with them. All right, so you're looking for inspiration. You're looking for a change. You're looking for a change in your day-to-day interactions and the people you surround yourself with. Whether it be those people that you are surrounding yourself with now need to change, or you don't have a close-knit circle of friends or people around that you want. And you're spending a lot of time being wistful about that, okay? I can see that you really are kind of craving you're craving a change. You want a different group of people around you. And you feel really stuck, but you're ready to feel unstuck. And it seems like one of the big issues of why this isn't happening is this Two of Pentacles in reverse, okay? So you're not balancing something very well, and I'm guessing you're not balancing your material life with your social life, okay? So whether that means these people you're kind of stuck and tied to because you work with them, maybe it's your coworkers, maybe you have toxic coworkers that you have to see every day, but they're toxic and you can't deal with them anymore, but you feel stuck and out of balance because you feel like you can't quit your job or move on. Or maybe you work too much and you're too dedicated and too involved in making money to really have time for fun for yourself, and it's depleting you a lot. So something about what you're having to do with your job and your money is getting you off balance as far as not feeling fulfilled in your close personal relationships, okay? And what this is trying to tell you is you have a little more control over this situation than you realize. You feel like you're stuck here, and you feel like what you want is so far away, off into these mountains that seas, just looking over at the deserts and in the mountains, and it's so far away and it feels so out of reach for you, but you are done. You're over it. So your Oracle advice cards, okay? Your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. This is going to come back to where you're not balanced. You really can't just wait for things to happen. You need to make a plan. Whether it is, if you really can't quit your job and you need your job and your job has just terrible people and you couldn't get a better job somewhere else or anything like that, you need to have a practical plan emotionally distance yourself from them at work, or find other people to hang out with, or create a social life outside of your job to where you have great people in other areas of your life, so that when you go to work, you're not like, you know, you've had enough quality interaction and bonding and interpersonal relationships outside of your work, to where having people at work who you don't bond with doesn't affect you anymore. Or if you can get a different job with better people, this is telling you to do that. You know, I understand if you really are at a place where it's like, this is the best place I could be at, it's the most money I could make, I need all the money, and I need these benefits, and I can't switch jobs. Especially if you have kids or something like that, I understand where there are absolution situations like that. And in that place, there's still a way around it for you to find fulfilling relationships outside of work. But those do tend to be a more severe circumstance. Usually people have some flexibility, and I know it's uncomfortable again to switch jobs, but this is a new year, new start. If you are being made miserable by the people you work with every day, think of how much time you spend at work. You don't want to be miserable like that. It's worth it to be uncomfortable for a month or so, or however long it takes you to find another job, to be at a place where you really like the vibes and the people are worth it. And if the issue is you work too much, then you need to really examine your schedule and examine your priorities and make a plan to fit socializing in the same way you would fit in a doctor's appointment, because it is that important to your health. Okay, and then your other one, besides your full moon in Taurus, you have the mutable moon. Nothing is set in stone. So that's telling me you have a lot more flexibility than you think you do. I think you feel really stuck. I think you feel really stuck where you're at, but you're ready to bust out, but you don't know how because you feel stuck. And this is telling you, you are not as stuck as you think you are. Nothing is set in stone. You have the power to make a practical plan to make you feel like you have this outlet where you have people who are wonderful and supportive, because you deserve it. You deserve it. And not to say these people over here who are reversed, because they suck for you, aren't wonderful people in their own right. You know, people have reasons for being how they are a lot of the times, and sometimes you just don't click, but it's not for you, and you're done and you're over it, and it's time for you to make a practical plan and remember that nothing's set in stone. You are not stuck. These mountains aren't as far away as you think they are, and even if they were, if you just take one step at a time, you will get there. Instead of staying up here where you're not happy and just constantly looking out into a different world that you want to be in. This is the year for your fresh starts where you can go ahead and find these fulfilling relationships. And that is what you need to do, pile 2. So good luck with that. I hope you find some nice people, because I bet you're awesome sauce. Okay. All right, pile 3. Pile 3. Save the best for last, right? Okay. Look at you. Okay, so pile 1. Yours is a little interesting. Give me 1 second to piece them together. I think this has to do with a relationship. And I'm inclined to say a romantic relationship, but being that this is a universal reading, it does not have to be. But I would say that it's a fairly significant relationship in your life. Like it's something that really affects your emotions, because I see a little bit of a timeline to where this is someone who really, really affects your emotional state. And right now, or the beginning of the year, you are very emotionally fulfilled and, oops, sorry, my phone was flashing low battery at me, and my kid finished his homework, and if you heard him, we're very proud of him. But right now, this relationship, you're very emotionally like fulfilled, satisfied, happy in. And I hate to say it, but I think the celebration of this is not going to happen, or it's going to be reversed. Okay, this feeling you have with them right now is not going to last the whole year. And this could even be as specific as a wedding getting called off, and not necessarily yours. I'm not saying you're getting married, but it could be as specific as a wedding getting called off, or a wedding you go to, or a party you go to, or some type of fun social engagement going wrong. Like maybe you guys go somewhere together and get in a big fight, or something happens, and that kind of is the catalyst for the change in your emotional satisfaction with them. And it's going to change because the Page of Swords gets reversed here. And the Page of Swords is a pretty impulsive, kind of immature, kind of know-it-all, kind of thinks he's the shit, but is immature type energy. And I think that's the energy of the person you're with right now. But after this blowout and after this fallout, the energy surrounding you with this Page of Swords, that person gets reversed. And this can mean one of two things. This can mean either this is a huge wake-up call for Page of Swords. So he actually does reverse his behavior and does what he needs to do to correct it, so that energy is eliminated from your life. And then I want to say he, but it doesn't have to be. I'm just getting a lot of these masculine energies, but you know, women can have masculine energies too. So there is, for some of you, it's going to be this person after this breakup, fallout, blow up, whatever happens. It's the wake-up call this person needs to kind of be mature and mature into the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is someone who has their shit together. And it's different than this person's kind of all talk, all ideas, and no action. This guy, he's all action. He does what he needs to. He's actually not even as much action anymore because he's already taken so much action. Well, he takes action. The Knight's in between the Page and the Swords, because this is the idea, the Swords, the action, the King's the result. Okay, so Kings do take action, but they've also had a period of time where the action is behind them and they have built something. They have built a foundation. And with Pentacles, that's usually someone who's pretty stable, pretty solid. So for some of you, this person is going to change their energy up and become the King, go from being the Page of Swords to the King of Pentacles after this rough spot. But for some of you, this Page of Swords reversing means they're leaving your life, which I know is probably going to be hard because right now you're so happy with them. You're so emotionally fulfilled with them. But immediately, like there's not even really a phase here in between. Immediately, this Page of Swords in reverse is replaced by the King of Pentacles, who is a much better partner. I mean, you're the Nine of Cups here. That's pretty good, but you could be the Ten of Cups, and this King of Pentacles is Ten of Cups energy, like when you're going to be with them. That's what that is. So just be warned, you're gonna have a rough bump in this relationship. And you need to be real with yourself. If this means you need to get rid of this person because he hasn't transmuted his energy into this person, you need to do it because you need to make room for this person to come in. If this person that you already have, who's Page of Swordsy, does learn from your fallout and becomes the King of Pentacles, you will know it. You will know it so clearly. You won't have to overthink it. You won't have to be like, oh, well, maybe he did remember this. Maybe he is doing it. If you have to talk yourself into it, it's not real. It didn't happen, and you need to move on for the real King of Pentacles to come in. Because if this Page of Swords becomes the King of Pentacles, you're going to know it. It'll be clear as day. And your advice is, from your oracle cards, is to surrender to the divine. So that's telling you to have faith and hold tight during this relationship transition or tough bump in the road. And then confidence is the key to your success. And that's the confidence to discern whether you need to cut this energy out, this person out, or if he has made the change to become the King of Pentacles. You need to have the confidence to assess that and assess it accurately without falling back on emotional crutches. So either way, you're going to end up in a pretty positive relationship as long as you hang tight through this and surrender it to the divine and don't let it domino affect you into making other poor decisions because you're hurt and going through a hard time. And you have the confidence to discern how this King of Pentacles is going to come into your life, whether it be through a shift in the Page of Swords or in making room for a new person to come in. But you're definitely going to have a bit of an upheaval in a personal, close relationship that right now is making you pretty happy. So I am sorry to be the bearer of that bad news. But like I'm saying, if the Page of Swords could make you 9 of Cups happy, a King of Pentacles is going to make you 10 of Cups happy for sure. No doubt. And, you know, it's a bump in the road to a better place, okay? So it's still a happy outcome in the long run. And just buckle up your seatbelt, okay? All right. That's it for you, pile 3. And I suppose that's it for the whole video. And I hope everyone has a wonderful 2022. Bye.